Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. You are taking a look at the President and First Lady just about to board Air Force One. They are on their way to Buffalo, New York. They're going to meet with families of the 10 victims who lost their lives tragically in that racially motivated shooting on Saturday at a Tops supermarket. Again, happening Saturday afternoon. The president will reportedly condemn what happened, which is what we expected, but he will also call it terrorism and call on Congress to do more in the name of gun control in this country. Interestingly enough, 3 weeks ago, the president was talking about the ghost gun crisis in this country. This gun that this 18-year-old suspect used was purchased legally. And there were a lot of warning signs here, red flags that were missed. We'll see if the president takes advantage of today and uses it to unite Americans after the tragedies that we saw on both coasts in New York and California and several cities in between over the weekend. All right, moving on now. As parts of the U.S. are heating up this week with record-setting temps expected in many areas, sparking concerns for wildfires and possible power outages. Meteorologist and Newsmax contributor Mike Masco is joining us with the very latest. Mike, good morning.
Hey, Rob, good morning. Yeah, it's been pretty impressive heat across the West Coast. It seems like we got the heat to go to work late April, and then all of a sudden the wildfires started to blossom. Over 200 records we are expecting to fall over the next 7 days across the desert Southwest and as far east as the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In fact, the average high temperature is into the 80s. We're pushing 90s to triple-digit heat, and of course, as you add in a little wind and the tinderbox conditions, we have seen wildfires that have blossomed. The Calf Canyon Fire, Hermit's Peak Fire, that's in northern New Mexico, that's now burned over 300,000 acres. So this is probably going to go down as the largest fire in state history. And of course, we were talking midweek last week about the Southern California fires, which they've been able to get under control. But it's all about this heat across the South. I mean, look at Dallas all the way down towards parts of Oklahoma and into Tucson. We're looking at 100 degrees. How about Wichita Falls today? 105 degrees. Oklahoma City's normal afternoon high is 79. Today we're going to go for 96. So that record could fall this afternoon, that 96 being set back in 1996. So above average temperatures the next 2 weeks across much of the South, well above average temperatures, really from Dallas-Fort Worth to Houston and then points east into Florida. Ironically enough, though, we started this year all the way up to today colder than average for a good portion of the country, with just some warmer conditions across the desert Southwest and into parts of the Carolinas. And by the way, La Nina, we've been talking about that all winter long, now all spring long. That is what's been driving this abnormal heat across the West and, of course, the wildfires. Rob, we'll send it back to you.
Mike Masco, good to see you. The PGA Championship golf tournament, major tournament, I think it starts on Thursday in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's going to be mighty hot out there for all the golfers.
Absolutely. Forecasting about 95 degrees for that. So they're already starting to warn, bring the, extra water and then light clothing, which I think they wear anyway.
Yeah, they do. When the wind comes rolling down the plain. Mike Masco, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Rob.
All right. Jury selection in the Michael Sussmann Russia collusion trial began yesterday. Today's the first formal day of the trial. And of course, a lot of other different things happening. The Supreme Court leak still out there 15 days ago. We had that leak at the Supreme Court of that draft decision, and we still have no idea who the leaker is.
Yeah, and for a reaction, let's welcome back a former acting Attorney General, Matthew Whitaker. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, good morning. Good to be with you again.
Of course, I want to start with this. So Sussmann, who is a cybersecurity attorney who represented the Clinton campaign in 2016, is accused of lying to the FBI as it investigated potential ties between Donald Trump and Russia in 2016. Matt, what are you expecting out of this trial?
Well, I think it's going to be a very interesting trial. First of all, the jury selection yesterday was not without some note. As you know, it's in the District of Columbia, so it's going to be very hard to pick a jury that isn't partisan, especially to the left. And so that overlaid on top of the evidence, which, suggests that it was targeted at President Trump and the Russian collusion claims, I think is going to be a very interesting overlay on this. But what I'm expecting is actually the government to present a fairly straightforward case that, in Sussmann's own text messages, as well as the notes of Jim Baker, the general counsel at the FBI, that he did not disclose that he represented multiple clients with interests in causing an investigation of the Donald Trump 2016 campaign. So that's what I'm watching. It's just how simple and straightforward they can keep this case without it spinning into sort of partisan politics. But it's going to be very interesting to watch over the next week or so.
Yeah, I'm curious if you think this is sort of a slam dunk case here. So basically what he did is he contacted the FBI. Right, he called the FBI, they called him back, they got together, and then he tried to show this, which we now is fantasy land, this fake connection between the Trump campaign in 2016 and a Russian bank that had alleged ties to the Kremlin and Vladimir Putin. And Sussmann is trying to say that even though he billed the Clinton campaign for his time, he was not doing this on behalf of Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Well, that's hard to say. As a lawyer, when you bill somebody, you are representing them.
Right.
And so I just don't think that defense is very strong. But at the same time, I think it's going to be, a test case to see if John Durham can prosecute successfully. And to your earlier point there, Rob, I've prosecuted and tried cases. I've defended. Trials are very difficult, especially in front of a jury of your peers.
Yeah, absolutely. Really quick follow-up. We talked about at the beginning is this leaker. We still don't know who they are, and this has taken a long time. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a very shameful moment in Supreme Court history, but I don't think that the Chief Justice is doing everything to find the answers, because basically they haven't brought in the FBI, they haven't brought in any outside resources, and so but it's a very small group at the same time. So they're either getting close to figuring out who it is, or they know who it is, or they sort of are spinning their wheels, because in 2 weeks in, with only about 40 people that had this opinion at the most, you figured they should be dialed in.
They should name this John or Jane Doe, disbar them, remove them from their position, and move on. But I just feel like the further we get away from this leak 15 days ago, the less likely it seems like we're ever going to find out who actually leaked this and what that means for the Supreme Court moving forward. A lot of questions there. Former Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker with us this morning. We appreciate your time. Good to see you again.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good to see you both. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.